ins and outs of this load board. Yes, I'll do that. And at the same time, I'll be showing you what are the lanes I run, and then I'll be going in depth what I do, why I do this, and I'll be showing you exactly. And there's no catch, guys. Be honest with you, there's no catch. I'll be giving away everything that I know. As I said, we passed 30,000 subscribers. For those of you who just joined, I'm giving away this training, guys. I hope you guys learn. You guys can learn from this. I hope that you guys taking notes because I'll be, going over some really amazing stuff. I'll do my best to help you, get started with this independent freight dispatching. If you are already a freight dispatcher, you will learn a ton. I'll show you the screen that I have. Let me share my screen real quick, and you guys will see what I'm talking about. So I already prepared, as you can see, the lanes that I run and then why I do this. And I'll be sharing, and again, guys, there's no catch. This is basically, total value to you. It's just, it's just like thank you for you. It just, without you guys, I wouldn't be here, right? So we have 30,000 subscribers. It's huge. I started this channel with my broken English, with couple subscribers. I be honest with you, I was delivering the value, and you've been guys awesome. And as I said, this will be an amazing training for you. I hope you guys taking notes. I'll post this video. Let me see. I'll post this video. Hold on to your questions. I'll go ahead and start the training. And let me see if you guys have questions already. Guys, if you have a question, please hold on to your questions. Let me see. Thank you for the invite. Absolutely. Hold on to your questions. I'll go over the training first, and then I'll have some time to get your questions answered. But again, you're welcome. So, and again, I don't know exactly how long will it take. You guys can watch, take notes, but then this video will be posted and you can watch later, right? Because I don't know how long it's going to take. Maybe it's going to take an hour, maybe 2 hours. I have no idea. But I'll be going in details. Then I'll be, showing you how I do it, how I talk to brokers, what are the lanes I run, and why I do run those lanes, and how I boost the cost per mile. This is what I teach to my students, and this is what I teach to my in-house dispatcher. At the same time, the independent freight dispatcher all over the world. I do have, I'm working with the independent freight dispatchers from Turkey. I'm working from independent freight dispatchers from Canada. I'm working with the independent freight dispatcher from Kenya. I'm working with the independent freight dispatcher from Ukraine. Think about like all over the place, right? So, guys, get ready. And let's start. Let me pull this real quick, and then I'll share my screen, and then we'll go from there. There you go. Nice. Today, we'll be using DAT Power Load Board. As you can see, I've done this, load board training in the past. I think last year, or I think it was in the 2020. There is a title for that training. It's in-depth training, in-depth load board training in 2020. It was about 2 years ago. Many of you guys liked it. And I decided to do, okay, let's do a thank you video to all of our subscribers. And this will be titled as in-depth load board training in 2022. So this will be, I think, the ultimate training. This is what you will learn everything. And if you just like take notes and apply whatever I teach you guys, and you're just good to go, right? The only thing is left is execution. Execution meaning the implementing whatever you learn, from this training. Total transparency, 100% honesty. If I, teach this one-on-one or inside the coaching program that I have, this will cost you about like $3,000 for a couple of hours. So you are getting for free, guys. I'm not joking, because I'll be sharing what I, actually implement. This is exactly what I do in my business, right? So this is, if you are a carrier, you will learn a lot. So if you're a broker, you will learn a lot. So if you're an independent freight dispatcher, you're golden. You will learn a lot today. So, and at the same time, let me pull this real quick. And this is, by the way, the training that I'm doing right now. It's live. So about 56 people watching. Thank you so much. Now it's about like 63. There's a little bit of a lag. So all of the links I have, it's here, right? So the link for the DAT power, it's here. So if you want to use the 30-day free trial, the load board that I'm using, which is this one, it's already here, right? So, and I also have an amazing announcement for the carriers. If you are a carrier out there, so if you're looking for fuel discounts and factoring services, I have a friend of mine, he works with the RTS carrier services. Give him a call. Give him a call. Here is his phone number. His name is Blake. Call him and tell him that I sent you for a custom discounts. Guys, these guys are amazing. And if you really wanted to, I think that I have an email address. So you can call him if you, and again, guys, this is for carriers. So if you have trucks, you are running a trucking company, you have, trucks, this is your guy for fuel discounts and the factoring services. His name is Blake over the RTS carrier services. There is an email address. You can email him, mention my name, and he will help you out, right? So if you are already set up with the factoring company, they will get really, really competitive, right? So and I realize that most of my students, they're using RTS, carrier services. Okay, so his name is Blake. So give him a call. There's a phone number and there is an email address. So let's get back to the. Let me see. Let me come back. There you go. So these are the links. So for the DAT power, this is the link. Okay. So once you log in, guys, once you have created or I would say purchase the subscription, specifically DAT power. And then one important thing to mention here, you can have an access if you're outside the United States, even though these load boards are designed specifically for the US market, you can access this load board. It doesn't matter if you're outside the United States, any part of the world, you can access this load board. The only thing is, you need to have a company here in the United States. So it's very easy process. There is a video in this channel you can watch. There's one of my students. He's from Bosnia. He just basically, lays out exactly step by step how you can, have your business up and running here in the United States. Okay, so I'm not going into details because this will be kind of long, training, live training. So I'll be just, focusing on like, okay, this is the load board. And for the accessing, there, a couple of other videos that you can watch. So let's assume that, you purchased the DAT power subscription. The first thing you will, see is this. Once you log in, and guys, this is the demo. The account that I have. Demo account is just I'm using primarily for, training purposes. Okay. So once you log in, I want you to pay attention to one thing. This, these tabs over here. Okay. It's when you like if you are a pro in using load boards, just hold on, just wait a couple of seconds. There will be people that they don't know what is a load board. They don't know how to access it. If they heard something about the load boards, but they don't know what to look for. So this is basically, it's like I'm going from you don't know anything about load boards. Once we end this training, you'll be like pro at using this load board training. I mean, load board, the load board subscription or the DAT power. So there's no joke, right? So you just stick to the end. I'll just pull if you guys have the, let me see. Guys, and again, I do see a lot of questions coming in, but let them come in, but just hold on to your questions. They're kind of distracting me. Like I really want to go in and help you with the questions. So you logged in. This is what you see. You're fairly new. You don't know anything about load boards. Maybe you heard about load boards. You must have a load board. And this is what once you log in, this is what you see. First thing first, this is what happened to me when I just first logged in and I saw this exact page. I was kind of confused, right? I kind of confused and I was like, wow, I see a lot of things. I don't know where to go, right? So the person who taught me, he was using different load board. So to me, the DHE Power was kind of upgraded version of the load board. So I want you to pay attention to these tabs over here. Just we'll be focusing on the load board today. So this is rates for another day. Then directory we'll be using for another day. There will be video. I'll be showing you exactly how to use directory, and then onboard. I'll be creating another video. We'll go into details. So these two tabs over here on the left, post loads and search trucks. This is for brokers, okay? Post loads, search trucks. So these on the right two tabs over here, it's like post trucks and search loads. Think about these two tabs are for carriers / carrier dispatchers, okay? Or freight dispatchers, or independent freight dispatchers, or just dispatchers, right? So these two tabs primarily will be focusing on about 99% of the time, unless you're a broker and maybe you're doing some additional inside research, you'll be using this, but most of the time you'll be using these two. Okay. So in about 99.99% of the time, you'll be using this tab, which is searching for loads, right? And then post trucks. Here's the thing. There will be a question, people will be asking this question like, Kamal, should I first have a load board subscription, then look for a carrier, or just have a load board subscription? I mean, have a carrier first, then come back and have the load board subscription. Guys, what I would recommend, just have a load board subscription because you have a 30-day free trial, right? So you have a 30-day free trial. It's not going to take about 30 days to have a carrier on board. It will take maybe a couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Like if you don't know the marketing, it will take a couple of weeks. But if you really know how to do marketing, then getting carriers on board, it will be really, really easy. So posting trucks, this is how I would use. So I will explain what are these, and then I'll come back and then show you how I use it. So posting trucks, this is what I do. So we do have the owner operators. Currently we have about 37 owner operators that we offer our independent freight dispatching services to, and then I'm a carrier as well. So let's say if you are a carrier, or maybe you are an independent freight dispatcher helping your carrier, it doesn't matter. So you must post a trucks. But here's the thing. Many people, meaning specifically dispatchers, they will skip this and then they will go right into searching loads. So this is what they will do, right? They will right into it. And then they will modify origin, destination. And again, don't worry if you just confused. This is what you see. I will explain. Just bear with me. I'll be going, into details. And there's a view private loads beta. This I will mention this at the end. Please, help me remember this. There's a good thing happening. So there are a lot of changes inside the DHE solution, which is awesome. So, but what I would do is coming back. I teach this. Our students, and I teach this, my in-house dispatch. I hey, don't go to search loads. Come back, post trucks first. And what I mean by that is most of the brokers, they will go to search trucks. See that? Remember, at the when we started, I said, I mentioned this, these two tabs for brokers. They will be searching, they're not searching loads. Remember, I said, you as an independent freight dispatcher or as a carrier, you'll be using, let's collectively say, carriers and independent freight dispatchers, let's call them a dispatcher, right? So when I say dispatch or dispatcher, just I'm referring to carriers at the same time, independent freight dispatchers. So dispatchers will be using, remember, I gave you the number. I said 99.99% of the time, they'll be using searching loads because you are looking for loads to haul. Okay. So what about this then? These two tabs for brokers. What about the percentage of brokers using this? It's about 99.99% of the time they will be searching for trucks, right? Why? Because you don't have a load, you have a truck, but they have a load, they don't have a truck or trucks, right? So logically it makes sense that they will be searching for trucks. This is unbelievably important. So if you are not posting your trucks, you're missing a lot of money on the table, right? So basically, is what will happen is that, hey, my trucks will be available today or tomorrow, right? These are the dates. So you just click, and then let me see why it's not clicking. So basically, you will put today's date. For example, if your carrier available today, if your carrier available tomorrow on the 19th, if your carrier available on the 20th, then you just put that information over here. Then the origin is very important. Origin is like, where is your truck, or where are your trucks? For example, my truck's in Atlanta, Georgia. So what I will do is that I will put the origin Atlanta, Georgia, and then destination. Where am I going? I can just leave this blank. Then brokers, when they will be searching for trucks, they will see my posting, but they don't see destination. That tells them that, hey, I can, I can pick whatever the loads you have from Atlanta or, close to Atlanta. If paying good, then I can do, run some Deadhead, pick up a load, and then I can go anywhere you want, unless you pay me, right? So you can leave the destination, or you can put like from Atlanta, Georgia to Houston, Texas. Okay. This is very straightforward. This is what you have, the truck, and again, what type of truck you have. So if you have a flatbed, you just basically put the flatbed. If you have a drive-in, you put the drive-in. If you have a box truck, you put box truck, whatever. Okay. So then F/P means full, you're looking for a full or partial load. This like you what you're doing is that you're giving more information to your broker, right? So what you can do, you can say, hey, I'm looking for a full, I'm looking for a partial, right? So I'll just leave as it is, like full. Then length, if you really go specific, you can put a length, but I don't. But you can put, if you are a flatbed, you can put 53. Why am I putting 53? Because most of the time the trailer ends up being a 53, the flatbed, okay, or the step deck. It's a 53, the length of the trailer. So the weight, I do prefer, putting the weight. Basically tells broker. And again, guys, we're not searching loads yet. As you can see, we're posting trucks, and this is very important. So as far as weight goes, I'm not hauling more than 45,000. I'm not going to put more than 45,000 pounds on my trailer. This is basically how, remember I said I'll be teaching you how I run my business. So there will be a lot of carriers will say the exact same thing. They will be like 45,000 or less. There's for fuel consumption. There's like, extra other things, but most of the time is for the fuel consumption. They will say, no, I'm not, haul more than, let me see, more than 45K. Guys, please use English if you wanted to, if you're asking question or communicating with others, please type in English so that we can all understand. So what I'll do is 45K, and then comments, guys. This is very important. If you, as a dispatcher, you have a truck with the ramps, and again, if you don't know, what I mean by saying ramps, please, Google it. Okay. So if you have ramps, tarps, the number of chains you have, anything, any comment, for example, hey, don't bother me like 5 o'clock in the morning, whatever the comments you have, let the broker know. Okay. So in the comment section 1, and in the comment section 2, you just leave like more information for your broker to analyze like what you're looking for. Okay. So once you have done this, the basically what you do, let me put okay, in let me put Atlanta, Georgia for um, example purposes. I will put Houston, Texas. So here is, remember I said, this rates. Do you see this? This isn't, extra service that you can buy, but we're not talking about this one, right now. But basically, this is a quick snapshot. Tells you like this is the broker to carrier spot market rate. What that means is that, hey, this is the lane that you gave us from Atlanta to Houston. This is what brokers being posted, like the average, the rate per mile, right? So if you need a full report, then obviously you need to pay for that service. But this is exactly what that means. So this will give you some idea or negotiation power, but I don't, take this into account because I, run my business differently. And I have the script that I'm using to negotiate with brokers. And I do know my, lane, ins and outs of my lane because I've been, doing this for several years now. So what I'll do is I will just, post. So what happens is that they will instantly will show you that, hey, this is what you put and this is what we have. It just basically similar matches. They won't have, if they have the exact matches from Atlanta to Houston, and again coming back, you can modify the what is it the date if you wanted to, the origin or destination. So once you post, you come back and then you can see the results, exact matching results, meaning from Atlanta to Houston, Texas. If there isn't any load, then they will give you like similar matches. Okay. Now, once you posted your trucks, think about maybe you have, I don't know, maybe 4 trucks, maybe 15, 20 trucks. Yes, guys, you need to post your trucks. You can post in advance. For example, if your day ends about, like, let's say 7 p.m., right? When your date ends at 7 p.m., then just, have extra time to post your loads for tomorrow, meaning for the availability. Not all of your trucks will be available at the same date. So if you're serving multiple carriers, like everybody will different. Like one of your owner operators will be in Houston, Texas, and he's not available. And then 2 of your trucks in Atlanta, Georgia, he will be available, and then you will be posting his trucks, right? So if I'm your carrier as well, then Kamal's truck will be available, in South Carolina tomorrow at 3 p.m. Then obviously you just list, that those trucks will be available, tomorrow. Now, once you posted your trucks, this is what will happen. You will come back to search loads. Now we know the lane we're running. We're running load from Houston, Texas. I mean, from Atlanta, Georgia to Houston, Texas. But again, remember I said I'm not putting the destination. I didn't put the destination unless I'm coming back to home, or I'm pulling loads, and then I'm like getting my carriers back home. Then I can put the destination. Okay. So and again, guys, I'm just showing you one load. Maybe you guys have multiple questions already, saying like, Kamal, how come? So you have a lot of carriers, guys. Like I do have several accounts, and then you can basically you can use this load board. You can do multiple searches, but at the same time, I do have um, independent freight dispatch and in-house dispatch, right? So we will basically, so I'll take 5 trucks, for example, and whatever the lanes I'm running, and then I'll just basically do the search, using the DAT power. But I'm using this, I'm giving you an example, like this is how I run my trucking company, right? So you can just learn from this, and then you can implement whatever the techniques and strategies I use inside my company. So, and this is what I will do. I was like, okay, so I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. So these are the loads that I see. And again, let's go step by step. And what we see at the top, there's like a truck. Okay, so truck meaning what type of truck. Okay, so we'll do editing here. Since I'm in the flatbed market, this is what it is. So DFK. Let me go back, and then I will show you exactly what I mean by putting those. So the flatbed meaning the trailer that I have, the flatbed market. So I have flatbeds and the step decks, but mostly step decks. But the flatbed is the market that I'm in. Okay. So what I would pull is the flatbed, but at the same time, what I pull is this K and D, basically meaning Dex specialized and Dex standard. This is another way saying the step Dex. Think about it that way. Okay, so I will just pull K and I will pull the D. And again, guys, this is how I run my business. It works for me. So if you're a really pro, I don't know, you have 20, 30 years of experience, but that is that's respectable, but this is how I run, right? So there's nothing wrong or right about this. This is basically, it works for me. This is how I run my business. So I'm just showing to you. You just taking notes, and you can implement if you wanted to. So I put this, and then I'll put Atlanta, Georgia, and then for the example purpose, I will put the Houston, Texas, because I do have this. I'll be talking about this in a minute. So I'll come back to this. And this is basically what I'm telling to Atlanta, Georgia, and Houston, Texas. And again, they are, box truck and hot shot owners out there. And then maybe they're thinking, Kamal, how you will be using or, pulling this flatbed or the box truck or the hot shot. So you just remove this, and then I'll show it to you. When it says truck type, it's any. You can't see the box truck, right? These are the options that you have. Okay. So once you click only, as you can see, when you switch, this is where you will see, for example, the flatbed hotshot, right? So once I do the searching, flatbed hotshot loads will pop up. And then also, if you want to do, for example, let me see, I'll come down. There's go. Then, hotshot. And then let me go over here and see. Let me see. Flatbed, we have that. Let me see. We did already drive in, right? Yes. So this is basically, van hotshot, and then this is a flatbed hotshot. So this is basically how you, put these, entries so that you will have the loads specifically for this market. So coming back, we'll just put flatbed, we'll put D, Atlanta, Houston, and then okay, these are the availabilities. Availability means like, hey, I can pick up today, tomorrow, on Thursday, and Friday. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want to see more results. And again, this is the way I do it. I want to see more results, right? Even though my trucks will be, full by tomorrow, but this is what I'm doing, right? So I want to see what are my options out there. Okay. So let me go from here. Now, DHO means Deadhead origin. Guys, and again, Deadhead, in a simple way explaining this. So if your truck's in Atlanta, Georgia, and then you will go to, let me see, let me pull something, maybe Macon, Georgia, for example, right? There you go, Macon, Georgia. So if there's a good load popped up in Macon, Georgia, but then your truck's in Atlanta, Georgia, then Macon, Georgia, let's say is about like, for example purposes, about like 100 miles away. That means you are driving empty, deadhead, in other words, meaning empty miles. You're going empty to Macon, Georgia to pick up a load. That's basically what that means, right? So coming back, DHO, and then Deadhead D mean Deadhead destination. And again, I will give you an example. This is what it means. So if I'm delivering in Houston, Texas, and I said, and I did my search, Atlanta to Houston, Texas, but there isn't a load, it's not delivering in Houston, but it delivers in San Antonio. So if there's like 250 mile, from, let's say, 100, for example purposes, let's say it's 100 miles away. So it's from Houston to, San Antonio, it's about 100 miles away. That means basically, load board says, hey, Kamal, we don't have, or whatever the name is, like, hey, we don't have, load specifically delivered in Houston, but we have a load that, picks up in Atlanta and delivers in, San Antonio. So this is what it means. Deadhead destination, right? This is what it is. And I'm putting this 150-mile radius saying, hey, load board, show me 150 miles away, right? I can deadhead, no problem. Show it to me. I need more, results to see so that I can just, pick up. Maybe there is a load from Atlanta to Austin, Texas, right? So if you put this 0, right, or put 10, that means this load board will show you 10-mile radius inside, but you will be missing a lot of opportunities out here. See that? And this is one of the reasons why people will put 150. And trust me, sometimes I put, 250. And again, I'm not going 250. Simply, I want to see more results, right? So it's right now it's 150. And we have total matches about 2,000. See this? 2,840. Let's, do a, quick test. So right now it's 150, but I changed to 250. Let's do search. Now we have, what is it? Let me come back. Something wrong with the demo. Let me see. It should give you, more results, right? So there will be, exact matches. Then will be, not exact matches, so to speak. So this is basically, what it means when it says like a deadhead destination, and it should, show you like more results. But what is the time? Is about 6:02 now. So it's close to when the market is closes. Most of the brokers will, don't post a low, so you won't see a lot of search results. So the reason why it showed this, the 250 instead of 2,840, I believe it was, because there wasn't any destination. It was from Atlanta, Georgia to whatever, meaning like I can go anywhere, right? Since we have 250 miles, so we have about 250, results. So now when I come back and I put 100, the destination, meaning the deadhead, as you can see, there's, 107. This, will give you the opportunity to see more. So some dispatchers, what they will do is like they will put 150 mile, right? So 150-mile radius. But man, like do even 300 mile radius, because there will be a load from Atlanta, Georgia, or Charlotte, North Carolina, going to Laredo, Texas, and they pay like 6,000 or 7,000 or something like that, right? It's like a huge, and then you need to run and pick that load, and that is why I do this. And then maybe you were saying like well, what about like we will have a lot of searches, but then this is a quick hack. What I do, I just come over here and then see this rate. I'll just basically like click rate, and then the most, the best paying load. And again, it's in like it's in parentheses, like best paying load. It will just pull on a top, and then you will see that there is a load from Kentucky going to Texas. Is they pay $3,250 $50 for this. I can easily get this for 4,000, right? But what I'm looking for is the partial loads. That's how I do business, and then I'll come back to this and we'll talk about this in detail. So let's go step by step. And origin, you guys know, this is in Atlanta. This is destination, and then availability I have, right? So there's a 4 days. And then deadhead origin, and again, it means I can go 400-mile 450-mile radius, and then again I can go 250-mile, which is catches Charlotte, North Carolina, right? But the reason why I put 250 miles is because I want to see the results, right? The options that I have. And again, so do you see this green? There's a load just posted, and it's like a live feed, and DAT Power has this, live feed option. I don't think the Truckers Edge Pro has this, but the DAT, it's this one of the, best load boards out there. So you will see the live feed. Live feed basically brokers post loads, and you will see instantly. Okay, so Now, destination availability, Deadhead. We talked about the Deadhead destination. We talked about, and again, the full or partial load. But now, when we were posting the trucks, we had just option full or partial. But when you're searching for loads, you can basically say I'm looking for both. And again, why? You want to see more results, right? So the length, and again, you can put the length if you wanted to. And again, I'm like, okay, I'll do 45K, right? But for example purposes, I'll just live as it is. But again, it will be different. Like in my company, I don't haul more than 45K, right? 45,000 pounds. I don't put any more than that on my trailer. Search back, it's very straightforward. You can go about an hour, back, or 2 hours back, whatever the loads were posted, right? That's it. And then you just, hit search. And these are the searches that you have. So we talked about posting trucks and searching loads. We talked about these already: to truck origin, destination, availability, deadhead, origin, deadhead, destination. It's a full, partial. We said both. Length, you can put 53. The weight, you can put it, the search back, right? I'll show you one important thing. It's try haul. I'll come back to this one. But let's talk about the total results that we have. We have right now is 276 total results. And again, pay attention to Deadhead, right? So simply, I need to see more results. So then what I would do is that, like, I'm going and doing some research, right? I'm looking into loads, saying like, what's the trip, for example, right? So what is the trip? Meaning it's like from this origin to this origin. So there will be what is it? It's like 1,120. There's a trip miles, and then I will see, okay, this is the Deadhead origin, right? So Deadhead destination. The Deadhead destination is basically, we're not delivering in Houston, Texas, but we are delivering in San Marcos, Texas. This is 166 mile away from Houston. This is basically what it is, right? So, and then we have this. Let's go step by step. We have age. That means about 35 seconds ago it was 35 minutes ago it was posted. And then this is the date will be available. Then truck SD stands for step deck. And again, you can look up online what's the what are the differences between the flatbed trailer and the step deck trailer. Okay, so this is the step deck, and the what is it? Okay, guys, I'll come back to questions. Please be patient. I'll come back to questions. So the truck is SD, meaning it's the step deck. It's not a flatbed. This is the flatbed slash step deck. You can think that way. You can call the broker and say, hey, I do have a step deck, if that works for you, right? And then obviously F stands for full load. Deadhead origin, remember we put Atlanta, and then it says going from from the original origin going to the Kentucky, and this is the 376 miles. That means you need to Deadhead to go and pick up this load. And again, guys, this is basically what I'm doing is that I'm giving you an example. I'm not going 376 miles to pick up this load and deliver it in Texas for this much money, for example. I'm just showing you the ins and outs of this load board as it was promised. So I'm looking into this, and I see maybe I have brokers that I worked in the past. And when I say this, guys, there is a quick trick, and I think a lot of dispatchers they miss this. But I do work with SPI Logistics, right? What I can do is that I can click, okay? I can click, and I can add as preferred, right? So now this is like it will help me for more refining my searches, for example, filtering out or the filtering my searches. So I work with this company, and then let me go down, and then I will say, hey, I worked, for example, with this company. I will just add as preferred, for example. So what I will do is that when I do search and then I do see this heart as an icon, that means, hey, I work with this company already. That means maybe this company paid me already really good money in the past, and I was like, oh wow, so I love them, I love working with them. What I'll do is that, hey, I'll contact with them whatever they load they have. And here is the quick hack. I'll be calling them anyway if I don't like this whatever they post, but I will tell them that, hey, I have other trucks, and then I can go in different locations to pick up a load. Tell me, what are your availability? So what do you have for me? See that? I hope you taking notes. Whatever the load you see, for example, you have done a load with SPI Logistics in the past, and you're currently looking for load from Atlanta to Houston, Texas, but give them a call anyway. Ask them saying, hey, I'm just calling you to see if you guys have any availability, any loads. Maybe you will be back home, maybe you will be going to Houston, and next week they will have a load for you. You can book that load in advance. That hasn't been posted yet. See that? That's golden, guys. I hope you guys taking notes. So, and what you can do if you have, for example, you worked in the past with many brokers, what you can do is that you can just click preferred, as you can see over here, and then it will just, filter out those brokers that you worked in the past, and then they paid you good money. Now you have a golden right in front of you. You just pick and choose the loads you want. Okay. So, I'll click all, and then it can go in a different direction. That means you worked with the broker in the past and you didn't like it, didn't went well. I don't know, you hate that company, they didn't pay you or something happened. What you can do, and again, I'll be just picking this, but nothing against to this brokerage company. I'm just it's just like, it's just a training, it's just an example. So this is a great company, by the way, but I'm just showing you as an example. So if you want to block this, you just like put like click block. This is what you will see, that, hey, this icon now will show you that, hey, you worked with this company in the past and you had really bad experience with them. Don't work with them, for example, right? I'm giving an example. So, and again, if you wanted to block out those that you blocked already, and you will see these are the company, or maybe there are multiple companies that you blocked already. So you'll come back, and then let's do this. Let me come back to this, and then I will click on this one, and then I will just unblock this company, and then I will come back to this. There you go. Now I have this company up here. Okay. So hope you guys taking notes. This is the quick hack. It really helps running your business. So now we have this H, and then there's the pickup, meaning you know it posted about like 45 minutes ago, and will be available tomorrow. This is what it is: Deadhead origin. And then origin, we have, this is the origin, this is the trip, and this is the destination, and this is a Deadhead destination, right? And we talked about already. So then the company is basically a brokerage company, the name of the company. This is the contact number where you will be calling this broker or the broker agent or the dispatcher, who knows. So the length, they're saying, hey, we need just 48 feet of your trailer. This is what it is. But again, when you call, and then you will realize that sometimes it's not a 48 by default. They put 48, and this is again a quick note for you, but it may be 10 feet long. Okay. So it's not that broker's tricking you. It's basically the shipper will say that, hey, this load is 48. That's the default. This is what we're looking for. And then brokers will be looking for 48 feet long trailers. So if you have a 53 feet step deck, or flatbed, whatever the trailer you have, then you're good to go. Okay. So then the weight they have, and again, 30,000. And again, with the 30,000, sometimes it will be like 30, 35, or 40,000 or something like that. Or sometimes it will be like 10, sometimes even 2 pounds. I mean, 2,000 pounds. So these, pounds, about 90% accurate, but there's like a 10% chance that it fluctuates. So if you see that this load was posted at 30,000 pounds, this could be about 40,000, maybe 48,000, right? Or most likely this will happen. Then the broker will be playing around if they have a really bad rating. Since we're talking about the rating, this is the credit score they have. CS stands for credit score. Anything about 85, I would recommend working since they have about 97%. So that means this 30,000 about correct, right? So it's not precise. It's not exactly 30,000 pounds, but they're precise. Why? Because they have the credibility, right? So DTP, it stands for day to pay. That means if you work with this broker, they have about 18 days in average. And again, guys, they will have the option to pay you, let's say in 5 days, or quick pay in 7 days. Or I do see, some of the brokers they're offering, quick pay in about 3 days. But what will happen is that they will be charging. What that means is that they will be factoring. They will be like, hey, this is the day to pay. It will take about 18 days. Once your trucks will deliver the load or the load, then we will have the 18 days. So then we can send you a check, for example. And if you're a carrier or a dispatcher, you can say, well, we can't wait. But what are my options? Then they will like, hey, if we take 5% off of this, or charge you 5%, meaning factoring, and you will get it within 7 days or 5 days. This is these are the charges that we will have. For example, if they are paying you $10,000, and think about like they will subtract 5% off of that, and then they will give you whatever left, right? So think about that. And then speaking of the factoring company, guys, are really, really important in this game. There are a lot of factoring companies out there, but recently we started working with the company called RTS, carrier services. So if you're again a carrier out there, there's a guy named Blake. He works with the RTS carrier services. Guys, give him a call, and he has an email address below. You can just email him and get the competitive rates from the Blake, the RTS carrier services. Just mention my name, and then just tell him that I sent you for the custom discounts. You will get really competitive discounts if you already set up. So we mentioned that for those of you who just joined, since this is the live training. Guys, give him a call. So let's continue. So now we talked about this, factoring in whatever the company, you have, I don't care. But then again, you can get really good rates. For example, if the broker charges you 5%, RTS services might give you, I'm giving an example, might give you 2% or something like that, right? So now you're saving 3%. And 3% in the transportation, in trucking specifically, it's huge, right? It's huge. So hope that helps. Okay, let's continue. We talked about the day to pay, and again, see that factor. Factor means, are they factoring? Yes, they do, but not. Some of them they don't. That means, hey, if we have the day to pay 26 days, for this company, it takes 26 ATI Tracking LLC. It takes them about 26 days to pay you. Think about it. It's about like a month, right? But they're also not factoring. Okay, so hope that helps. The rates, straightforward. And again, I show you just quick hack is that this is the less paying loads. But again, less paying loads because they're not load posted. But this will be the less paying loads for this lane. And again, this could be at a partial or something like that. You can put on your trailer if you wanted to. But these, like see that there's no rates here. What you need to do is you need to call a broker. Ask for the rate, right? So but what I'll do is that just click the rate. So this is book. Book meaning you won't be calling a broker. This is this where private loads, and it's a beta state now, at the beta level now. They're still testing, but they will roll out and then you will see that you won't be calling your broker. It's just basically click the like. If you like the load, you will just click, and then broker will receive an email, and then broker will be sending you rate confirmation. Things changing, guys, and you need to adapt to a change. If you don't, it will just fall behind. Okay, so things are changing. This is very important. I'm really excited about these, and then there are many other things that's coming up. So let's continue. Are you guys liking this? Please let me know in the chat if you're okay, if you're learning, if you're taking notes. Are you guys liking it? Are you guys learning something? It's about what is it? It's about an hour that we're talking. So let me grab a water real quick, and we will continue. So let me see. I will have a time for. Jason says yes, awesome. So guys, basically this is what it is. And let me come back to remember I said the tri-hall, and we use this a lot. I do see, I do have a lot of friends in the trucking industry. I have a lot of brokers and family members in the transportation industry, and then I have a lot of students. Azamat says, great demo, thanks for your effort. Absolutely, you're welcome. They don't use as the trial, the option that they have, and again, not many dispatch. And if you're using, more power to you. Awesome, congratulations. But for those of you who don't know this, and for those of you, maybe you're a carrier, maybe you are a dispatcher, independent freight dispatcher, if you're not using post trucks, I told you, like, you're losing a lot of money on the table. But same thing with the tri-haul. Tri-haul is basically meaning, this is the meaning of it. So this is why I did this. Let me pull this real quick. For an example purposes, think about this. This looks like a triangle. Is that right? Right? Yes, that's where the name comes from. It's a triangle, but it can be like four angle. It can be like octagon or something like that. But the idea is this. I hope you guys taking notes. If you have origin put Atlanta, and you have a lane to Houston, Texas. Okay, Houston, Texas. The tri-haul says, hey, don't go from Atlanta to Houston. Just go from Atlanta to somewhere, pick a load, come back to Houston, right? Come to Houston, deliver it, but don't go back to Atlanta. That simply is, right? So I know it's kind of confusing, but this is what it is. So if I have a load, let's be precise. If I have a load I picked up and basically, guys, this is what I do, and this is how I use, the load board, and this is how I use the tri-haul. Okay, so you will see exactly what I do, and then if I have students, my students watching this right now, they will tell you that this is exactly what they teach, and this is how I run my business. So this is what would happen if you pick a load from Atlanta. This is, from Atlanta, goes to Houston, Texas. And tri-haul says, don't go back to Atlanta. Go to another, state or the city within the same state. Okay. Deliver in Dallas. Then pick another load in Dallas, come back to Houston, deliver. Then you can go to Atlanta. I know, guys. I know it sounds confusing, but okay, let's do it again. The tri-haul basically says that, okay, if you pick a load from Atlanta, you go to and deliver in Houston. Don't go back to Atlanta. So you can play with this, right? But it's a simple form of the tri-haul is this: pick a load from Atlanta, deliver in Houston. But one principle is that don't go back. Don't go back to Atlanta. That means, what is it? So doing two pickups in one shot. No, it's not two pickups. It's just like you pick a load. Okay, it's actually a great question. You pick a load in Atlanta. It could be a single load. Okay, pick a load. It could be full load, and you go deliver in Houston. Your driver delivers in Houston. Okay, so now it delivered, your trailer is empty. So while he is driving, what you will do is that you'll be looking loads, right? You're not looking loads coming back to Atlanta. Experienced dispatchers, do you know why? Okay, so what if you had a load coming back from Dallas to Atlanta? Okay, we'll go there. Sophia, it's a good question. We'll go there. So you pick a load, full load from Atlanta, go deliver in Houston. The first principle of a tri-haul says don't go back to Atlanta. And my question was, why? There's a very important point here. Like experienced dispatcher will know this, but not everybody, but most dispatchers, specifically pro dispatchers, they will know why. So we'll go in details, but I need to ask this question to see if you guys know this. One of the reasons in like make more money since you in the same area. Okay, so Timur says I have no idea because the load will be lower. Yes, we're there. It will be cheap. Yes, and the reason why is that better paying lanes. Okay, so the one, the remember the tri-haul principle says don't go back directly to Atlanta. One of the reasons is that there maybe will be really good paying loads going out of Atlanta, but incoming loads they're paying less. Think about that way. I'm trying my best to simplify, guys. Okay, so the reason is that they will pay less to go back. Meaning, if you pick a load from Atlanta and then you come, deliver in Houston in this lane, paid you, let's say 5,000. Just like for example purpose, I'm just throwing the numbers. Okay, so 5,000. So coming back, your driver delivered the load. Now you're searching loads coming back to Houston. Okay, now they will be paying about 1,500 or 1,600, right? The most they can pay maybe 2,000. Compared to this, like think about 5,000 from Atlanta to Houston. Coming back from Houston to Atlanta, they will be paying 2,000 or 1,500 or something like that. You're not picking that load. Why? Because total you will end up for this lane, it will be about 6,500, right? So it's 5,000 to deliver, and then 1,500 to coming back and deliver in Atlanta. Total is 6,500. Now, what I do in just follow the tri-haul principles and I go there and I'll tell my dispatchers, hey, don't look loads coming back to Atlanta. Search a load from Houston to Dallas, Texas, or Oklahoma City. And we do this. We run a lot of loads from Houston to Oklahoma City. Guys, one thing, and maybe you're thinking out there, like, come on, like, why are you giving like ins and outs of this? And this is exactly how we run. And I said, guys, for those of you just join, I'm giving away this training. It's just like accept this training as a thank you, being a subscriber. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, please like this video and please subscribe. Turn on the bell notification. And one of the reasons why you turn that bell notification is because when I post training like these, you'll be notified. Cool? It's a win-win situation. Awesome. Let's see. So this is why, and then I'll be asking questions, guys. I really want you to participate because it's an hour in. I'm not tired, but I'm hour in, and I need you to participate. This is very important. So now we have a Houston, right? So load from Houston. And please let me know that if there's like somebody teaches this, right? So I'm doing my best, guys. Please stick with me. So now we deliver the load from Houston. Like think about, so we had, let me see if we have a whiteboard. Give me a quick second. Whiteboard. See if we have online. There you go. I think we have one. So let me pull this. So let's say this. Let me pull this. So we have from let's say from Atlanta, okay, from Atlanta to Houston, okay. So from Atlanta Let me pull this. There you go. From Atlanta to Houston, we have how much? We have, okay, excuse my riding or driving. It's like 5,000. I'm driving with miles. Okay, there you go. There you go. 5,000. Now, and then there's like from Houston, right? Coming back to, let's do this, to Atlanta. Do this. Atlanta, they're paying how much? 1,500. Okay. Whoops. There you go. Whoop. There you go. So what I'm saying is that no, like, don't do this, right? So coming back now from Houston, look a load to Dallas, Texas. Why? Any dispatchers out there, any experienced dispatcher out there, they will know this. Why? I'll give you a hint: short distance, if that helps. Short distance. Any comments, any input? There's not right and wrong, but I'm looking for the right answer though. So, why from Houston to Dallas? So the hint I have is the short distance. Okay? So I'll help you. Short distance, usually they pay more. Okay? So for short distance, they pay more. From Houston, right? Think about from Atlanta to Houston. Yes, it's about like 900 miles, right? So it's about 900 miles. Think about from Houston to Dallas, Texas. Okay. Diana says short distance, extra money, and is in the middle of the triangle. Awesome. Awesome. Yes. Cool. So short distance, usually they pay more. Okay. So you'll pick up a load and then deliver in Dallas, Texas. It will be sometimes we have a load for about $1,200. Think about if you divide $1,200. Let me take a calculate in 1,200 miles. I mean the 1,200,000 divide 250 mile, and like what I mean and what I like how I come up with the 250 is like 250 miles is from Houston to Dallas. So we have sometimes loads for $1,200, and $1,200 divided by 250 dollars. How much you have per mile? You have almost a $5 per mile. It's about 4.8. See that? This is what we called, an experienced dispatcher will know this, is the mileage booster technique. And I'm showing you the lane that I run, but you can go from Houston to Oklahoma City or from Dallas to Oklahoma City and come back to Dallas or come back to Houston. You just play around. Since I did a lot of research up front, I know, right? I know that, they're really good paying brokers. And since we're talking about good paying brokers, and then there will be like, people like, come on, why are you sharing this information with us? It's like, I told you already, it's just like this, accept this video at this training, live training, as a thank you for being an, awesome subscriber. And then obviously I have a lot of, good brokers that I have established a good relationship, with them. Right. So like I'm winning already. So I'm just, sharing with you if you want to implement this. I already taught many of my students. Right. So let's focus. Come back. So Rhonda says, I'm looking to take your training. I didn't watch from the beginning. I'm lost. It's okay. So we will post this and then you will have the access. I don't know. Should we post this? Okay. So I'll be posting this. Okay. From Houston to Dallas, Texas. And again, guys, remember, like from Houston, like for, we'll save some time as I'll just, put H and D, Houston and Dallas. What we have about 1,200, right? So it's $1,200. So the mile we have is 250 mile. Okay, miles. So it's basically what you do is that you $1,200 divide by 250, and you have 4.8. That is RPM. What is it? RPM, rate per mile. And I post sometimes like, hey, um, we get 5.5 or 6.2 per mile, and then people were like, oh no, you're kidding me, like it's like it's unbelievable. And the people say all kind of things, but guys, the reason why they will say this is because they don't know how to use these techniques. It's really straightforward. And by the way, I'm here, I'm still live, I'm teaching you guys. So let's come back. So, and then one of the reasons I just showed you exactly, like from Houston, and you can do a research and you will see how much they're posting. Loads. It's from Houston to Dallas. Okay, continue. Right, great stuff. Continue. When we go to Dallas, Texas, the second principle is that we don't go back to Atlanta yet. Okay, we're coming back from Dallas to Houston. Why? We need to do more of this, right? More of this. Maybe there's a load still. Let's say it pays $900 from Dallas, right? From Dallas coming back to Houston, for example, right? And they're paying $900. $900, guys. If you have a calculator running in front of you, $900 divided by 250 mile. Think about it, it's 3.6. It's almost $4 per mile. See that? So now if you like add 3.6 plus the 4.8 and then divide this by 2, you have average of this 4.2 mile. See that? Okay, let's continue. When you have the load and then you're coming back to Houston, guys, you can run multiple lanes. And then what I will do, this is exactly what I do. If we have loads from when we pick the load and come back to Houston, now from Houston, I'm not looking, for um what is it? Going back to Atlanta, what I'm saying is that, we will be, booking another load going to, Oklahoma City. If there's, good paying loads, then we'll go there and, deliver this load. Okay. So this is basically what we do. We just run multiple lanes, right? So multiple loads for this specific lane. It's like Houston to Dallas, Oklahoma City, or Dallas. 90% of the time it will be Houston to Dallas, Dallas to Houston, Houston to Dallas, or we'll play another, triangle, which is Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, right? So we can do that. So let's do this. Now, when we have the load now coming back to Houston, we did multiple times. Now we can pick a load and come back to Atlanta if you wanted to, or you can book a load and go back to Dallas and then pick a load and come back to Atlanta. But then the third principle for the tri-haul is that don't go exactly to Atlanta. Do more research. Go to Charlotte, for example, because there will be good paying loads from Dallas to Charlotte, North Carolina. See that? There will be a lot of good loads from Houston, San Antonio, Laredo, going to Savannah, Georgia, for example, right? So it's not worth it just coming directly, back to home. Like if you are out there, you just convince your, carriers as an independent freight dispatcher that, hey, if we run these lanes, we will be making a lot of money. And this is how you boost your carriers rate per mile. And like basically if they're looking for 3.0 for their miles, they'll be, hey, I need you to book loads for 3.0. You can easily say yes, because this. This is the tri-haul principle, and this is the default. And if you put the origin and destination, and then they will give you an idea how that works, right? Basically, this is what it is from Atlanta. It's a direct. You can go directly from Atlanta to Houston market, and this is what they're telling you. This is what you will get, right? So, but then they will give you examples saying, hey, if you go from Atlanta to Bowling Green, and then you run these lanes, and this is like what you're getting. It's almost $4,000. Think about it's almost $2,000 on top of this. See, Guys, this is very powerful, and this is exactly how we use the load boards, right? So you guys liking it? You guys learning something? In like, if you do, please let me know, and then start. Whew, let me start taking some questions. Let me see. I do see a lot of questions. Um, okay, so the Azamat says, "Is this?" Let me pull this, by the way. Is this technique works only in certain states or cities? You will do a research, but most, I'm like pretty sure it's all about like building lanes. This is what it is. Um, you know, heck yeah, this is golden. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Blowing my brains out. Awesome, awesome, cool. So it's all about doing your research, right? It's all about, if you are an independent freight dispatcher, but it's like to a carrier. At the end of the day, your carrier will dictate what are the lanes, right? So to me, if I'm your carrier, then I will say, hey, Azamat, I'm not running like nationwide. I'm specifically from Atlanta to Houston. Then you will get an idea and start building a lane. Building a lane again, it's like working with the brokers, building a relationship with the brokers, and do this tri-haul, search. When we say tri-haul, not many people taking this seriously. And by the way, those people not making money. Trust me. I just prove to you, like you can have the load board subscription and start working today and do some research, and you will see. But I'm talking about only Houston, market, or the Texas and the Georgia, right? So these two states, we have 50 states, right? Um, so hope that helps. Let me see. Okay, so take many loads before forward, then you go back to Atlanta. Sort of, yes, yes. You got the idea. So, hi Kamal. Any tips for the dispatcher interview? Any tips for the dispatcher interview? That means you'll be hiring a dispatcher. Is that what you mean? So I have an interview tomorrow. And again, I'm not sure. Maybe you are a carrier, you're hiring an dispatcher, or you are an independent freight dispatcher, and then carrier will be hiring you, and you don't know how that will go. So please let me know. So, um, Densi, I think, if I'm pronouncing correctly, very informative. Cool. Is dispatching business saturated? Very, very, very common question. Think about this way. The simple answer to this is no, right? And the reason why I say no, think about trucking companies. Why you pick specifically independent or the dispatcher? Just put dispatcher away. Think about any niche, any market. Think about restaurant or restaurants. If you are really, good, I don't know, cook cookies, for example, and you want to, build a business, out of this, will you ask the same question like, is cookie market, saturated? I don't believe in this like saturating, and then one of the reasons why I don't believe in this quote unquote saturated market is because there will be a lot of people going into business, but at the same time there a lot of people will be going out of the business. It's just simple as that, right? Yeah. And in the trucking business, there are a lot of people going into trucking business, and then there are a lot of people failing within the 6 month or something like that. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. So absolutely not. It's not saturated. Like, think about, I thought collectively about 22,000 people. It's not 22. It's not 2,200. It's 22,000. Think about it. It's a lot of students, right? It's collectively. And like, do you think all of them, they're now in the dispatching, they're dispatching, they're really successful? No. Why? Because some people, they can run their businesses, and some people, they can't run businesses, and then they will be going out of the business. Myself, I failed a couple of times in business. It's okay to fail. If not giving up, then obviously that doesn't count. But saturated, it's the reason being why I stay in this topic of saturated business, is because I get this question a lot. saturated business. No, there are a lot of think about, like, it's like it's $800 billion industry. There are a lot of money to be made in this. In we're talking about like really really special players, which is like player, which is independent freight dispatch or dispatchers. It's not saturated. Trust me. Okay. Hope that helps. Okay, cool. Nope, I have an interview tomorrow with the Charger Logistics. By the way, thanks for replying. Absolutely. So you are an independent freight dispatcher, and then they will be hiring you. I'm assuming. So correct me if I'm wrong. So the one of the tips I would say, you need to learn about their business before you go into the interview. I will definitely do that. Learn about this company, and then when you go to the interview, the you can talk many ways, but the cost per mile is very important to me. Like how many trucks they have, and what are the cost per mile? Like average cost per mile per truck, right? What costing them to run their trucks? So on top of that, and then now I have that information, and I can definitely say that, hey, if your cost per mile is this, I can easily get you X amount of cost per mile. That's what it is. And this is the one of the tips that I can give you. It's like know their numbers, because this is very very important. And I'm a carrier myself, and the carriers out there, they will be guilty that not many carriers, they know their numbers, right? Numbers are very very important. Okay, so I think now a lot of people doing, but not everyone has the knowledge to be best. It's up to the person to stand out and stay in business. Awesome. You're golden. Yes, totally agree. I want to become independent freight dispatcher. My husband has trucking business already. Cool. Can we combine the business and use the same EIN? To me, and again, guys, quick-minded disclaimer: I'm not a CPA, I'm not a lawyer. I must say this, right? So, basically, all the information that I'm giving to you is for educational purposes, right? So, I can only speak, based on my experience. But if I were you, I have a trucking company. Like, learn from this. I have a trucking company. I don't want to mess up this trucking company. I was like, I'll create a new entity, and then I will build a business model around this LLC, or just call it company, right? I need to separate them. One of the reasons is because these two are different entities. They're two different business models. Period. I would separate them, but I'm not saying you need to separate. But I'm saying that, hey, like, I did this. Like, I don't want to mess these two combine or merge these two companies like into one, because EIN, think about, is for tax purposes. And again, I'm not a CPA, but I have a CPA, and basically I learn from them. They teach me, they show me, right? And this is why they're professionals, and this is one of the reasons why we hire them. The EIN is basically a social security for your company, and the business model for trucking company is different. That means taxation, the tax bracket is different for the trucking company than independent freight dispatching company. Think about it. You have a lot of expenses. Their tax is like it's highly regulated industry, by the way, right? And then you have an independent freight dispatching company. Think about it, right? So you make the final decision, but you heard me. Cool. So is DATU load board also working in Canada market? Okay, so when you say Canada market, that means this load board will show loads in Canada. There will be certain loads that going into the Canada, right? It's close to the borders, for example. And again, in simple way explaining this, but the load board, specifically DAT load board, is not designed for the the Canada market. It's designed for the US market. Okay, so can I get your email? Absolutely. So here is my email, right? info@dispatchtrucks.com. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, so let's come back to questions. Okay. Let me see. You guys have a lot of questions. Wow. Okay. Do you consider? Oh wow. So guys, I'm like picking short, emails for time purposes. So we have already an hour and 20 minutes in, and we have about 90 people watching this. Guys, thank you. Thank you. So, whew. So let's do this. We need MC number to dispatch semi trucks. No. And by the way, I did a live in the Instagram. So I have you can type dispatch trucks and you can follow me. And I do sometimes daily and sometimes weekly live training using the Instagram, because I have followers out there. And thank you for my followers if you guys watching this, because I already invited you today. So you don't need an MC number. And one of the reasons why you don't need an MC number is because MC stands for motor carrier. So you're not a motor carrier. That's period. That should be like clear, right? So MC number is for carriers like me. Like I own trucks, right? I need MC number. It's a unique number, and it's basically it needs to be activated, by the way. And how we activate is by purchasing an insurance policy. When we have an insurance, then our MC number is activated. That means now we can haul freight. Now, if you don't have trucks, you don't need MC number, right? So you're an independent freight dispatcher. You don't need MC number to access or dispatch semi trucks. So basically, you're dispatching my trucks, right? So we're teaming up and you're dispatching my trucks. This is how it works. And you also don't need MC and DOT number to access a load board, right? No MC, no DOT required. So, okay, there you go. So, should we try to get in good with the factoring company? Okay. Or is that something that could happen over time? Should we try to get in good with factoring? You mean the relationship? Guys, well, actually, this is a great question. But yes, and I mentioned the factoring company that I started working with. It's a great company called the RTS, Carrier Services. The guy named Blake, give him a call. And again, yes, you start building a relationship with them, right? So if you're a carrier, then obviously you need a factoring. But if you don't, I don't know how you're operating. I don't know your business model. But most of the carriers they need a capital like yesterday, because it's a capital intensive business. They will be using factoring companies. So in most of the companies like RTS, they give you the money like quick, so that you can have the funds on your account so that you can run your business. Get good relationship with factoring companies, at the same time good relationship with the brokers. Great question. So let's see. Okay, I think this is a good question. What is the main thing to know going into dispatching business? I think it's a good question, by the way. The one thing, obviously, if you don't know how to dispatch, one thing is like you need a training. See that? Like we just like almost hour and a half we were doing this training, and you see that once you start learning, you will see like how many people out there right now is like they learned at least something new today, at least like small something. If they're pro, they learn something, because we always learn from each other. So this learning, it's never stops, right? So as you progress, you just keep going and going, right? So you're just learning all the time. Now that the load boards will be shifting a little bit, there won't be like actual call. You're not calling the broker. You just basically like click of a button. You will just get the rate confirmation, right? Deliver it into your email. Like, how about that? It's like, isn't that cool, right? So one thing is that you need to know ins and outs of this business, meaning specifically the skill, the dispatching skill. Okay. Let's see. I start in 2019 doing hotshot tracking, and it's been hard to find loads that paying good. Yes, specifically hotshot. Since you're using traditional, load marketplaces like load boards, DAT Power Load Board, Truckers Edge Pro, or something like that, and these tools are not designed specifically this sub markets. Think about that way, right? There are other ways to get a lot of best paying loads for your business, right? Okay, so guys, I do see like you skipped my question. Guys, I have a lot of questions. I take like, really short questions, and I have like a lot of questions. Please, um let me see. Let me go back to this one. Char says, I dispatch box trucks and I hate it. Okay. There's very little available freight for box trucks. Um, there is a way, guys. You just like you are in the submarket using a different tools, right? Think about like it's like I'll give you an example. Like if you are a home builder and you don't have a right tools, like you have a pressure machine, for example, right? And it's not the right tool to build a house. It's same thing. It's like people going into box truck business, and they're using these load boards. Like yes, there will be some loads, but to me, it's my personal opinion. They don't pay good, and you won't find loads specifically for box truck. There are other ways that you can do, and I have a couple of videos how you can find loads for box truck. Okay, hope that helps. Let's see. Man. Okay, so let me check this one. Hello, I can't see the rate in factoring on my DAT power. Do you have a power load board? If you have a power load board, you should. You should have the factoring in rate. Okay? So, let me take this one. So, starting off, what do you recommend how to get carriers? This is a different topic, right? So, there is a lot of, good videos on this channel you can watch. But, we just, for training purpose, we'll just skip this question because there is already, a lot of videos. So, guys, I think we should end, here. It's like we have, and wow, it's like about 90 people an average watching this. Thank you so much. Um, we'll come back. If I haven't answered your question, please, um, I'll get to those questions. Please hold on to your questions. We'll come back and we do this. What is it? These live training every Tuesday and Friday, right? So it's thank you. You're welcome. Absolutely. So and again, guys, for the what is it? If you are a carrier, right? And again, guys, this is huge. Don't miss on this one. So if you're a carrier, you like fuel is everything. I know I'm a carrier myself. If you need fuel discounts, if you need factoring, if you are set up with the factoring company, they, as I said, they will get really competitive. The guy name is the Blake. Give him a call. I told him I have about like 40 emails back and forth. I serve my people. I really, I'm trying my best to get best paying, rates for you guys so that you can stay in the business. Like I failed the trucking business. Be honest with you, like, and I did a different video, and it's like a different topic for another day. But you can watch that video where I explained why and how I failed it, basically. So the reason being is obviously the fuel is like it's too much, right? So the fuel costs you need to save, even if saving cents per mile, it's a huge deal for you, right? And then obviously the factoring, so if you have a current factoring company that charges you 3% or something like that, they can get very competitive. The guy name is Blake. So give him a call. This is very, very important for you to stay in the business. And again, guys, join the Facebook group that we have. They're what is it? They're about like almost 11,000 members already in that group. Then we have a lot of brokers. Then we have a lot of carriers out there. We have a lot of independent freight dispatchers. Agents and community. There's a link below. There you go. You can just type it, whatever you want to do, and then there's a link also below this video about like let me go there. Let me show you real quick how you can. Let me come back to this. There you go. There's a free startup guide. There's a Trucker's Edge Pro. This is this is the link that I have, and then there's a DAT Power. And again, this is the Blake information over here for fuel discounts and factoring services. Our official website is here if you want to check it out, and then the Facebook group is up here. right? So the Facebook page we have, I have a personal Instagram page you can follow. There's a dispatch trucks. I do a lot of live videos here, and then I have recommended videos for you guys. Okay, so let me see. Do we have any questions? No more questions. Well, guys, thank you so much, and then we will have another live training this Friday at 12 p.m. So if you are a up level, coaching student, we do every Monday, specifically for coaching students, Monday and Thursdays, but this is for everybody on Tuesdays and the Friday. You as a student as well, you can learn obviously from these live trainings. So guys, thank you so much. It's been awesome. It's an hour and half, and as I said, that one of the reasons why I did this is basically saying thank you as being a valuable subscriber. And one of the reasons why I'm here today, I'm talking, is because of you. You subscribed. You just showed me that there is an audience that wanted to hear, want to listen, want to leverage, want to learn, and just basically keeps me motivated. And then this is one of the reasons why I do this. Right? I'm not asking anything in return, meaning in monetary, but what I'm asking in return is just like subscribe to this channel. As I said, it's like it helps this channel to grow, to more people to see. And please like this video, and if you guys have any questions, please let me know. I think we're done for today. Let me see. I don't see we have more questions. Let me double check real quick. Next training, can we take about which bank is it good to start with the business? Ashraf says you are the best, thank you. And we will talk about the box truck as well. We'll go into details. I'll be um good stuff, thank you, absolutely. And we will come back and we will I will talk about the box truck business as well. Okay, so thank you guys so much. Let me see if you guys, and again, if I didn't answer your question because of the time, so we have hour and a half. Thank you so much. I will see you on Friday, and we'll go from there. Thank you.